Hello, my name is Robert Henderson Jr. This recorded presentation is for IAS 5940, Media and the Global World, and the subject matter is Egypt. The Arab Republic of Egypt is a country situated on the northeast end of the African continent, connected with the Middle East section of West Asia via the Sinai Peninsula. The sixth president of Egypt is Abdel Fattah Saeed Hussein Khalil el-Sisi, who was elected in 2014 to run the authoritarian government. President el-Sisi took over for President Hosni Mubarak, who was president for almost 20 years. And he was removed after the 2011 Egyptian Revolution. The authoritarian government has the legal authority to censor the media systems in the country. As one of the main features of the media system in the country is not to publish any news concerning the Egyptian military, especially anything that criticizes the military or the government. The capital city of Cairo is both the largest metropolitan and also the most populous region in the country of 97 million people, from which information reaches the global discourses. In an overview of the country of Egypt, the media systems based on the Halin and Massini framework for comparing media systems. The media markets are developed with internet, news, press, radio, and television. In Egypt, 76% of the people get their news from television, 9.1% get it from newspapers, 4.4% get their news from internet news sites, 1.8% get it from radio, 5.5% get it from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and 2.1% get it from other, 0.9% don't know or refuse to answer was 0.4%. In the political parallelisms, in the United States, most Americans get their news from television, 49%. 33% get it from news websites. 26% get it from radio. 20% get it from social media. And 16% get it from print newspapers. Moreover, in the political parallelisms, Egypt has a state-owned and run daily newspaper that is the oldest running newspaper in the Arab world. Also, Egypt has has a media production city similar to Hollywood in the United States that produces entertainment for the Arab speaking world. The development of journalistic professionalism is hampered by the authoritarian government, which provides a high degree in the nature of state intervention in media systems. Egypt is an Arab country with an authoritarian government that is heavily influenced by the Muslim religion. According to the book Normative Theories of the Media, the role of the media is to advance Arab news, entertainment, and influence throughout the Muslim world from Egypt. The media also delivers some news in English as a counterbalance to the information that's put out in Arabic. The media transparency issues in the country are strict as the authoritarian government and its military are increasingly cracking down on journalists and journalism. Egypt ranks 29 out of 66 on the Krukenberg and Censura Global Index of media bribery, including scores of zeros on perception of comprehensive corruption laws, free press, and competition. In the journal article, Media, Cultural Consumption, and Support for Democracy in Post-Revolutionary Egypt, written by Mazen Hassan, Elizabeth Kendall, and Stephen Whitefield, about the hopes for a change in government from authoritarian to democracy. In Egypt, journalism education is widely restricted by the authoritarian government. The major trend in media professionalism and professionalization and practices in Egypt are the jailing of journalists for attempting to have a free press. Any media that does not support the government narrative is deemed to have produced false news. And this makes journalists subject to arrest. The jailing of journalists making news reports hampers and severely challenges the reporting of news and is difficult to overcome. Egypt has a deplorable record in the status of female journalists in the country, which includes sexual harassment and rape. Recently, 150 female journalists signed a memorandum to the government requesting for better protection for female journalists. Ironically, 40% of journalists in Egypt are women. And 99% of all women in Egypt have experienced sexual harassment at one time or another in the country. which means that sexual harassment of women is not just restricted to female journalists. It's a problem throughout the country and the society in Egypt. As the case study, I look at what happened to former CBS reporter Laura Logan, who was in Egypt, in Cairo, at the Tahrir Square, reporting the resignation of then President Hosni Mubarak, who was leaving office after a 20-year reign as president of Egypt due to the 2011 Egyptian Revolution. Ms. Logan was attacked by an Egyptian mob and raped by the mob, and only saved when a group of women and approximately 20 Egyptian soldiers came to her aid. Moreover, in the United States, female journalists have problems as well. Fox News chairman Roger Ailes, broadcaster Bill O'Reilly, and reporter Charles Payne were accused of sexually harassing at least 13 women, resulting in lawsuits that required $40 million in payments to the victims. Even Laura Logan, in her situation, she's filed a $25 million lawsuit against New York Magazine, who downplayed what happened to her in Egypt in 2011. So, female journalists have to sign memorandums and file lawsuits to get their situations heard and make people understand about the bad things that happen to them in not only the society in Egypt, but in American society. The major trend in media professionalism and professionalization and practices in Egypt are the jailing of journalists for attempting free press. The Egyptian media is a driving force for global media and discourse due to its satellite television being the first Muslim country to provide Arab entertainment and news to the global public sphere. In closing, Egypt had made great strides in providing information to the world via its media production city. However, its record for jailing journalists and the sexual harassment and treatment of women makes the country have a bad record for its media systems. And the country needs to take great strides, not only within the government, but societally, to change its ill treatment of journalists, and not only working journalists, but female journalists trying to do their jobs. This is the end of my recorded presentation on Egypt. Thank you.